Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lock
Whoa.
Pod. We are back.
I have not heard that in months.
April 29th, 1960. No, April 26th, 1969.
It's coming.
There was a riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you?
Oh, God.
You were at home watching your
I was
TV.
in St. Margaret's Hospital.
Well, I was participating in some anarchy.
It was 89, I think.
It was 92.
Or 92, is that
It was
what
like
it was?
a couple
People are
months after I
like,
was born.
what the hell are they talking about? Well, one of those dates is Kevin's birthday.
Yes.
Date of birth.
Coming up. You don't have to remind everyone, but it's coming
I'm
up.
reminding everybody
I'm going
that
to catch
Tuesday,
up to you.
Kevin is going to be 53
Old.
years
53,
old.
just like you.
He's leaving the 52s.
Yeah, they're in the rearview mirror.
Right.
Well, welcome back. This is crazy. I actually, when you said welcome back, Lockpod, I was like, whoa, I haven't heard that in a while.
We got new ads.
You didn't even say
today.
Belgium's.
Oh,
favorite-
god dang. Sorry. Let's
Or
start
maybe
over.
we left
Let's
that
start
back
over.
in season
Look at this
5
guy,
or
man. What's up?
season 4.
Dr. Mike walking.
Foreit walking in nice and early.
Just walking in,
Just
man.
coming on in as if he owns the place.
Look at that shirt.
Yeah, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
What's
That's
up, man?
Oh, wow. That's going to be a topic of discussion.
It's already off the rails. John,
Hey,
where's
hey, we're on
where's the
air,
off
guys.
the where's the
We're on
off the
air.
rails
Yeah.
No.
sound
Yeah,
effect?
yeah.
Say,
What's up? Hey, man.
you
what's
know,
up?
Dr. Mike walks in and...
Yeah?
This is the little guy that's the representative.
Okay, let's get right into the middle of the show.
Right.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
do
what's
it.
up, man?
I apologize.
I can't even hear you.
Hey, get on it. Get on it. This is the little...
Off to a great start.
the little insurrectionist. That's what they call it.
Okay.
In Warsaw. This is so cool.
Why would you have that?
Wow, look at that.
I wanted to get one. I asked him to get it for me when he went to Poland because I wanted to get one. Honestly, this little thing, the little insurrectionist, it's a symbol of like when Russia invaded Warsaw, and Warsaw basically, they inscript,
Russia invaded Warsaw, or the Soviet Union, or
yeah,
you mean-
the Soviet Union, right? And when they invaded during World War II, this was a symbol of the kids, basically everybody that fought against the Soviets. So
wow.
Yeah.
As the Russians were coming through and the Germans were being driven out, they didn't want the Russians to be taking over Warsaw.
so
Right.
So
So they were driving the Nazis out.
These
The Nazis-
kids were fighting against
the Nazis and the Russians.
Yeah.
kids,
Right.
people that wanted to maintain their
I guess it would be.
independence.
city.
So they were driving the
Life.
Nazis out, and the Russians were coming in to take over,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What the hell?
Right.
We got rid of the Nazis, now we have the Russians and the
Exactly.
Soviets."
Right, and they stayed there till the 80s.
91,
Hey,
But, I
doctor.
mean,
89, 91.
Marissa's...
So I saw the statue of this guy.
pull up
Marissa's
up
born.
on it. I
Yeah,
know
get
what
that
you're
mic
talking
out
Marissa's
there.
born in Warsaw, and it wasn't for Marissa, I wouldn't have met the people that I did that it allowed me to make the connections that I did.
Okay.
Right,
Wow.
yeah. Well, we're like jumping right in the middle of
Louisa
the show.
I think we're
right?
at the end of the show now.
Yeah,
I
right.
like that. Well, morning, you guys.
We literally just started the show when you walked in. What's up, Dr. Mike?
I love to see you guys.
Hey,
I'm
so
happy to be
let's
back in the
let's go
States.
through some initial stuff here. We missed a couple things since we were off, and
Well, welcome back.
yeah,
Thank
It's
you.
nice to have
welcome
you
back
guys.
to you too.
I enjoy the show.
When did you get home?
I got home last Tuesday night, Wednesday.
Nice.
I wasn't in town 3 hours before I saw I got to get clipped in New York, get hit by a car, slammed right in front of Bruce and I. We
Tell
went
me
right
about
in the
that.
middle of
Let's
the
talk-
street.
tell me about
dude, like
this.
seriously, we have to like do our show here like before he walks in, just like what's up?
Man.
Great job getting Dr. Mike on as our first guest.
Yeah, right.
Good morning, you guys.
Just read the paper.
Read the
for, a
paper
little
for
bit.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading the Klein Avenue thing here too. But
Yeah.
God, I was happy about the Moscow, the sinking of the Moscow, which was birthed
Dude,
in the Ukraine.
Why don't we
supposedly.
like
do
do
your
that
thing.
during that part of the show? Like you like go into the end of the show.
Go ahead.
So, guys, I went to
Go ahead.
Poland.
Go ahead.
I don't have control over this thing, man.
So what's up, Kev?
What are we going to read some at?
Give it to me.
Let's go off the air and then come back on.
No, what's up?
No, I'm kidding.
Let's start
Mission.
over.
Yes.
All
I
right.
love it. I love it.
I know we have our first ad. Are we doing ads?
Before
Do
I
it.
should
No.
read it.
We were supposed to. We're
No.
talking about what you did over the break.
Oh, I can mention this then. Mission Marijuana looking for the closest cannabis dispensary in Northwest Indiana, searching for best prices and unbeatable customer service. Cal City, South Chicago, 86th and Commercial. I used to be able to walk to it from my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
But it wasn't available.
Can you
at
walk
that
to it
time.
now?
Oh, I could. Tom and I could easily walk there.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one in Cal City on Torrance Avenue.
Oh,
Is it?
Yeah.
Aren't they all the same? So
I
Yes.
haven't gone to the Cal City or the other one.
It's right next to Starbucks, isn't it?
I just know where it's at.
Mission Marijuana. Are you looking for closest cannabis dispensary to Northwest Indiana? Searching for the best prices and unbeatable customer service? Then look no further. Stop in Mission Dispensary, located in Calumet City, across the street from River Oaks Mall on Torrance Avenue. Visit missiondispensaries.com to learn more. But these are all
Thank
like,
you to
Wait,
our
wait,
new
wait, wait, wait.
sponsors.
it's our new sponsor, right?
Oh, Mission. Good for you guys.
Is that illegal? Like reading it off in Indiana? Couldn't we be arrested for this?
No.
I don't believe so.
I'd like to see
Tom.
them try.
Yeah,
Tom,
man.
what happened to the? You have a new way of reading ads. You just read that straight from the paper. What happened to
Oh,
like,
you know
hey
what?
guys,
How about that?
you ever looking for some good weed?
Yeah, right.
Let's go to-
That's one. I'll get that one next.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But, you know, I grew up in the neighborhood where these guys now exist, next to Jimenez Hardware. It was Commercial Avenue. It was the commercial street for South Chicago, for the area that I knew called Bush. And I could walk across Russell Square Park, right across the set of railroad
Little did you know,
tracks,
someday, 35 years later, there'd be a dispensary there.
and great
They'd be
fried
selling
shrimp with
legal
Heine's,
weed.
too.
But like so Mission now has the closest one is in Cal City to where we are right now, which is literally like 5 or 6 miles from us. And then there's another one on Commercial Avenue in South Chicago, right?
Where you guys know where, you know, Gady's Candy, Gady's Theater, used to be Polka Meats, things like that. That was a neighborhood I knew.
Yeah, I remember you drove me around there one time. You're like,
Yeah.
give
I
me-
was
We
showing
had, of course, last
bicycle.
season we had on the general manager.
right?
Talk about
Gabe.
Gabe was
Gabe
awesome.
Mendoza,
Gabe
good dude, man.
Mendoza. I watched that show.
So
He's
thank
like-
you to Gabe and
He
Mission
showed me.
Dispensaries. For
He
the
took me in
sponsorship.
there and literally like took me into the heart of the place, which is like the room that even during like when all the protests were going on and you know a lot of what are you laughing at? So anyway,
Just
he took me into the green room, so
We're
to
all a
speak.
little giddy.
Yeah.
Everyone's so
excited to be
everyone's
back,
so excited
Tom.
to
Is
be
that
back.
okay?
It's season 6, episode 1.
yeah, is
That's
that
right.
okay?
All right.
Going
So
swimmingly.
why don't you start our next one there, Kev?
I don't have my ads.
Do it. I apologize for just coming in and taking things.
While Kevin's getting that, Doctor, are you wearing an aura ring too?
This is just a piece of jewelry.
Okay, all right.
I do have an aura ring on, by the way.
I don't
John.
want-
Yeah, I was wondering
Dad's
if
got
Mike.
You know
one.
what?
It's
I don't
fancy.
want to know how
It does
lousy
look like
I'm
it
doing.
does look like an aura ring.
It does.
before
It
it's
does,
got-
but
it's just
it's
a
heavy.
regular old ring, right? But like,
Regular.
Does that take? Wow, look at that thing. Look at
That's
those
metal.
hands.
It's like a
That's out
sausage
of,
hands.
that's out of Montreal.
Honestly.
Like a
That's
ball
a
bearing.
sofa show.
What's the size? What's the size? Like a 9 to 10?
Let's
I
watch
can't
that.
divulge that.
yeah, it's big.
Let me
that's
see
right.
that.
It's actually
Let me
not
see
that
the
big.
size of that. Oh my god!
I
No,
can't
get it
divulge
off.
that.
This is
That'd be
getting.
funny.
There's too many jokes to be said here.
All right,
Oh.
so let's go on to our next guy so we can get through these ads real quick. The Bug Guy.
No, these are not to
The
be got
butt
through
guy.
quick. These are our new sponsors.
Yeah. So anyway, Mission Marijuana, welcome. Sorry
Thank you.
about the first. Sorry about the first ad. We will get better. But no, it's super. It's really cool to. I bet you we're one of the first podcasts in Indiana that has a weed dispensary
Sponsorship.
Sure.
sponsor.
For better or for worse, we're happy about it though.
Right. Mission.
Right. Push it.
Push it. Push the
Push
issue.
it.
Well, by the way, while we're talking about Mission Marijuana, I want to remind everybody on Wednesday is 420 Day.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, which is the stoner holiday coming up on Wednesday.
Can we pull an extra show that day?
I am on the road, unfortunately, that day. I'm on the road with the Indiana Democratic Party, actually, doing a tour on marijuana, going around the state of Indiana,
Congratulations.
talking about
son.
why we should be legalized, cannabis.
It's important to get the issue out and to talk about it, and I think the state party is doing a great job by like raising the awareness of the issue.
Yeah.
And bringing you along as one of their spokespeople to talk about the issue from the federal.
He's got a
angle.
spine.
Yeah.
The kid's got a spine.
For now,
Yeah.
You'll
You'll be fine.
It's an interesting issue, and I think it's good to get on the road. And you're going all around the state.
all around the state. We're
gonna
starting
be
off in
really
Indianapolis, and it's going to be interesting. So, yeah, this is one of the issues I'm campaigning on. A lot of people are trying to make it out that I'm a one-issue person. That's ridiculous. It's one of the issues.
No, you got a lot of issues.
But like this is one that's. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, Doctor. I do have a lot of issues, but
Doctor.
yeah, but no, this is an issue that's important to me, though. I mean, it's definitely, but it's not the most important thing happening in America. It is pending before the U.S. Senate right now. The U.S. House passed a marijuana legalization bill, and it's sitting in the U.S. Senate where it's probably going to die because that's right now the U.S. Senate is where good bills go to die. So.
Well, I heard that they may call it up in August. We'll see what happens before the August recess.
Wouldn't you do it now if you were going to? I mean, if the Republicans were going to support it, which is what we need for it to pass, wouldn't you do it now with 420 coming up next week? This would be the perfect time to pass.
Well,
that bill.
I mean, I guess it depends what's on their agenda. And really, to me, I like the fact that they're going to bring it up in the late summer or fall. It's
yeah,
good,
right.
Good
Closer
timing.
to November.
So
Closer
don't
to November.
complain.
Right. So anyway, Mission Marijuana, thank you. Mission Dispensaries, thank you for sponsoring Lockpod. We
Here's
appreciate
another new sponsor, the Big Guy Pest Control.
you.
Mice.
The bug guy. The bug guy.
Big bug
the
guy.
Bug Guy Pest
Bug
Control.
Guy.
I should know our.
You
our
got big
new
bugs?
sponsors.
Call the
You
big
got
bug
big
guy.
bugs? Yeah, that's good. Big
Oh,
bug guy.
do that again.
That is
Linz.
good, Lindsay.
You got big.
You got big bugs? Call
Yeah,
big
big
bug
guy.
guy.
Big bug guy.
Big bug
It
guy.
was better the first
I
time.
used to know a guy
Hey,
who would
you know,
carry
that was
bugs in
boring
his
prompt
pocket,
then.
and he was a bug. He was a
Maybe
rodent.
he became a bug guy.
Well, he was a bug guy, and he would every time he'd see something interesting, he'd collect it, and he would just throw it under the sink. Whoa, you got a scorpion under your sink.
That's
or
So
something.
next thing you know,
Hilarious.
you need a pest control.
Yeah, he would do
Dang,
it.
you got a
That was Ray.
tarantula in your bathroom.
Look at
Mice, spiders, ants, and roaches are filthy and disgusting.
They are gross.
Once they establish themselves in your home, they're nearly impossible to get rid of.
True
but
story.
the Bug Guy Pest Control can create a pest-free zone in and around your home. Prompt, thorough, and professional service, treating residential, commercial, and municipal customers in Northwest Indiana. To schedule your appointment, call Brian, the big bug guy,
The big bug guy.
at 219-810-7481 or visit thebugguynwi.com. Thanks, Brian.
I wonder if the bug guy is obviously taken. Thebugguy.com was obviously taken, so he had to do the NWI in there, right?
Thebugguynwi.com.
Right. If he would have used
And I can
Lindsay's,
say this:
the big
I have
bug guy.
I saw an ant yesterday in my office.
What?
They're out.
That is gross.
Time to call the bug guy.
I'm
Pick up the crumbs.
absolutely. Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. No time to eat out. I've got to eat at my desk.
all those
sometimes.
You're
crackers.
too busy, Kev.
all those
cracker
crackers.
crumbs.
You're too busy.
Just shoving my mouth full
You're
of
like
crackers.
Take a
Kramer.
moment.
Yeah.
Your briefcase is just full of crackers.
All right. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. We use them for a lot of reasons in the city of Hammond. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses around the Chicagoland area and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency. City of Hammond uses them for a number of reasons, and so does Committee to Elect Tom McDermott. Anytime we have an event, we use them for a wide variety of products. They're great. So
It's good to have the Prestimers back. They're
don't you
all
go
good
through them
guys.
with the insurance for the fest?
There's various
I
insurance
thought it was
companies.
them, but they went to like big wigs, like worldwide types of insurance.
I mean, they're well. That's a good thing about the Prestimer Insurance Agency. They're an independent agency.
Right.
They can go anywhere.
Right.
You know, it's not just like you just don't go to
Broker.
one or some of them are like I'm a State Farm agent, which is fine. I mean, I have State Farm as well, but the independent agencies like Prestimer can scope it out with a lot of agencies to get your best price, get best coverage. That's what's good about them.
Gotcha.
Thank you, and thanks to the Prestimers for coming back.
So, Lindsay, what you got?
Ronnie.
Lindsay's supposed to read off an ad. It's like a secret ad.
What?
Oh,
That's a
here we
secret
go.
ad.
Drum roll, please, on the soundboard.
You guys don't know of this?
No.
Oh, here we go.
This was done on the DL.
All right, let's hear it.
In the second grade, she was the youngest violin at the Guggenheim Elementary School Orchestra. In 1988, she took first place at the State National History Day for her moving rendition of Theodore Roosevelt at San Juan Hill. In 1993, while other kids were busy moshing at raves, she was busy writing research papers and reading Horse Illustrated. And when it comes to electing a circuit court judge, don't you want someone who was wearing glasses way before it was cool? This May 3rd, vote for a nerd. Marissa McDermott for late circuit court judge. Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Marissa McDermott.
Did you wrate that?
No, she did.
Really? Vote for a nerd?
On May 3rd, vote for a nerd.
Yeah, I thought it was
May
fantastic.
3rd.
On May
Marissa.
3rd, vote for nerd. I love voting for nerds.
She's a huge brain.
It took me
Yeah,
like
great.
3 of the descriptors to finally realize who we were talking about.
I got it. Yeah, I was
No,
about the same. I got it on
No,
the
when
third
the
one.
horses came out, I'm like,
yeah.
is this a Marissa ad?
Yes, it's a Marissa ad.
Yeah, I know her.
Right.
But apparently she played Teddy Roosevelt.
She did. That one gave it away, too.
There was
by
a
the way.
moving
Not too
rendition,
many
and
young ladies played Teddy Roosevelt.
As you were reading it,
You
Tom
know,
was like,
being a
if this is a
thespian runs
woman,
in
I
the
kind of
family.
like this
Who
person.
is this?
Tom's like,
Who is this
this
mystery lady?
Well,
Ooh,
May
she
3rd,
plays
vote
men
for a
in
nerd.
theater. She likes horses. My kind of chick.
All right, summer camps at Challenger NWI, Challenger Learning Center. Challenger Learning Center will be hosting a summer camp sessions this June and July for students entering kindergarten through the 6th grade. Space is limited for these camps, and they fill up quickly. Scholarships are also available. For more information and to register your young scientists today, visit clcnwi.com or call 219-989-3250. Summer camp.
do
for
it now.
Kindergarten through 6th grade, Challenger Learning Center. Sounds like fun.
Yep, something to do this summer.
Yeah.
All right, Misprint. Always have been one of our sponsors, one of our
Every season,
mainstays. Thank you to Rick and his team.
Vanessa, beautiful.
Tom's been using his metal business card like crazy. There it is. Wow.
He throws it at
You are
us.
so good at
I was
that.
on
Like,
it.
remember
I was
when
on
I
it.
do it's like
Dude, I know.
clink.
You're like,
I know.
yeah, it's pretty weak.
You got to put some force behind it.
Misprint
Kevin.
specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom commercial on-demand printing and sign solutions as well as metal business cards. Rick Baltensberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. Misprint has 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond. Thank you, Rick.
Yay, Rick.
We'll be back later with more sponsors.
Yeah, good call. Hey, while we were gone,
While we were away.
I got verified on Twitter finally.
Oh,
I got
this is such a
verified.
great story,
Your
though.
personal account?
No, you know the check mark on Twitter?
The blue check mark.
I got the blue check mark.
I don't know
Personally
what that
got
is.
it.
This is such a great story, though.
Because
Tom,
his
it's hard to
campaign
get.
Twitter had it.
Yeah.
but
Tom
your
has
personal one
complained.
didn't have it.
Yeah,
which
because
is-
Kevin takes over campaign Twitter, right? And it's literally like
And I
like,
get
like-
verified
It's
quickly.
like 20 followers on it, right?
Not
and then,
true.
So when we were running
It has a
when I
lot
was
more
running
than
for
that.
Congress, everybody that ran for Congress got the blue check mark, and I'm like, finally, I'm gonna get the freaking blue check mark on Twitter, right? And then Kevin opens up the stupid McDermott for Congress, and it has like literally 100 followers.
We have
Blue check
2,000
mark.
followers.
Okay,
Yay.
but at the time there
All
was
right,
hardly
fine.
any,
1,000.
and I had like 3,000 or 4,000 on Twitter, and they gave the blue check mark to Kevin's stupid new Twitter. And I'm like, wait a second, I got burned. Like
Hey, man.
my real
They were
Twitter
vetting
like
you,
got,
man.
got
Yeah,
passed
they're
up.
like, this campaign Twitter's got something, but I don't know
So-
about this personal one.
Right.
So I was like salty for a couple of years, like unchecked, right? So I finally got the check
He
mark.
texts me, he's like, look what I got.
I never
Yeah.
heard that disappointing
That's
story.
awesome.
I'm sorry.
It
Pretty
is-
cool.
I don't have it at all.
That was inside baseball stuff. I was like, God damn it, Kevin! You start the
It
you
happened
start
right
the
around when,
campaign
as soon
Twitter.
as
and-
Elon Musk got associated with Twitter, he got a blue check mark.
amazing.
it was right
Instantly.
around that
He
same time.
bought the company to do it.
He's like trying to do a hostile takeover of Twitter.
Not anymore. Or yes, he is actually. Now he's,
He's
just
always-
offering.
No,
got
he's just
10%
straight up
already.
offered.
yeah.
Like,
Now he just offered to buy him now.
can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. I mean,
I'm not on
yeah.
that platform.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I don't have
I
time
love
for all
Twitter.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I like Twitter
I'm
a
a
lot
fan
more
of
now.
Twitter.
Oh, I don't say I don't
Because
like
Facebook
it. I
is
just don't limit
Facebook's
time.
too like political, too
I
like
don't know what Facebook
long-winded,
is.
very long-winded.
Yeah, and just gets weird.
Because Twitter, honestly, the nice thing about Twitter is everybody has to put it there. You have to really like when I'm putting stuff on
You have
Twitter.
to think.
It takes me a while to like edit it to get it so it fits.
makes you think in nice,
Right,
short.
You can't just like blah, on paper like you can on
On
Facebook.
and
Like
on
everybody
and
could
on.
like people put like 10 paragraph rants on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes
I've
it's
seen
about me. I don't like it. Like
just
Hey,
keep it. If you're
guys.
going to rant about me, keep it to 140 characters.
140
please.
Right, no
characters or less is
pictures.
nice, right?
Hey guys, I updated my Twitter handle.
Oh, wait, what was it before?
What, so
It was the
they got
region
check mark.
queen.
It was. I thought it was baby
And
got
now it's
backbones.
the
or something.
notorious LMP.
Nice.
Whoa,
I
That's your
updated
handle?
It. Yep.
You could change your handle and not lose your followers.
You can change.
Yeah.
You can change
Transference.
the top, but it doesn't change
Oh,
your handle.
Gotcha.
It
It's
changed
still-
my
at-
handle.
No,
You
so
can
it's
change
at.
your handle, too.
It's still
It's at notorious LMP.
You could change it.
Yeah.
and you kept your
Without-
followers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, that's news to me.
know that.
Roscoe, baby.
It's
Wow.
right there. Yeah.
All
the
right.
notorious
Cool.
LMP.
Nice, and I'm still following. All
By
right.
the way, another thing we missed while we were gone:
Mhm.
the slap heard round the world.
Whoa,
Oh, that was fun. I watched that live. That was exciting.
did you really?
I didn't. I was watching something else. 'cause-
Yeah.
But
You
we
and
turned it
everyone
on.
else was watching something else.
I don't usually
Except
watch the
Lindsay.
Oscars.
I like-
you know, I decided to check in
I don't
for the
watch
first
it, too.
time in like 10 years to
And-
watch it live.
And you watched it.
And look what
And
you
I
got
watched
to
it.
watch.
I know. It was like the first time I logged in or checked in on the Oscars, and I was like, wow, this is fun.
I like
this.
Amy Schumer. She comes in after. She's like, "Did I miss something
Yeah,
when
that
I was
was
gone?"
great.
Yeah,
The vibe is
great.
off.
the vibe is really off.
Hi.
She was like the next presenter or something.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
She's like in the crowd. Yeah, she was
She had a
good.
couple really good jokes too.
Mhm.
She vetted her jokes before she dropped them. Like she told, I forgot who. She made a joke about Leonardo Dicaprio, and
His
she's like, he's
girlfriends.
such a great person. He spends so much time on the environment, making sure that his girlfriend's kids or his girlfriends
No,
will be
that
able
he
to
leaves
enjoy
a better
the clean
world
planet.
for his girlfriends.
Yeah, right.
I thought, by the way, the
Humanitarian.
thing about the slap around the world that I was just floored by was how amazing Chris Rock
Dude,
kept
Handled
his
it.
composure.
right? Totally, Kevin.
Like
He got slapped in front of billions,
I would
hundreds
say-
of millions.
I would say
Sure.
billions.
hundreds
and
of
hundreds of millions.
tens of millions.
There's people
live.
in other countries
So,
watching the Oscars.
so he's sitting there like gets slapped, and then he's like, "What are you gonna do? You're gonna like go back at him? You're gonna fight, or are
He
you
said,
just gonna
I just
keep
got
it cool?"
slapped the shit out of by.
Uh huh.
Yeah, it was
By
amazing.
Muhammad Ali.
My Will Smith.
He had
who
a
said
he had a
that.
joke about it too. He's
Yeah.
like, I just got the shit slapped out of me by Muhammad Ali or
Did he?
something.
I thought he said Will Smith.
Did he say Will Smith or
He did say Will Smith.
Oh, maybe he was talking Muhammad Ali after because
Well, he played Ali, right?
Right,
That's your reference,
right.
yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was. I thought Chris Rock's composure was amazing. given
I think
that
Chris Rock's
situation.
great anyway. I always did.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between those two, I liked both of
Don't
them.
do that. Don't choose.
I liked both of them. I don't like Will Smith anymore. I think he's a jerk.
I
There you
don't
go.
really.
He defined himself.
I just don't know how
I
he
think
didn't
it's
get
a much more complicated situation.
how he didn't get
than that.
arrested. How it wasn't.
They
like,
were
You
going
have to press charges, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
you have
that's
to press
true.
charges.
But it was seen.
Well-
unless it's seen.
And
It
Chris
was
says
seen.
that he didn't want
Between the two of them.
press
But it
charges.
was seen, like Kevin said. If there's a
Domestic issues.
if there's a violent crime committed and the officer sees it, they have an obligation. And there was officers there; they saw it. Everybody did.
Rock played it cool.
Yeah, Rock played it.
Right,
Very
he
cool.
did.
and he didn't
by
want
the
to
way,
press charges.
it wasn't like he was bleeding or anything. Like if he got punched, it'd probably be a different story, right?
I mean,
Right.
either. Well, I don't
Slap.
know.
So I guess the rule is
Battery.
if you don't want it, it is a battery. But if it's a slap, then I guess it's less severe.
I don't know.
So
Well, he
we can
got
slap people now.
Knocked out of the academy.
10 years.
Woo-hoo,
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, I think.
That's,
By the way, how would you feel if you're the Venus sisters sitting there watching? It was their night. You know, they were celebrating this movie about them, and then
About their dad.
all
still doing
all the other people that were celebrating the Oscars. That
Yeah.
you know, it was a huge night for them. And then all anybody was talking about is Will Smith.
They'll
and it was a
recover.
huge
I mean, he
night
did
for.
win Best Lead Actor, though, right?
He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. That was such a joke.
That was weird.
It was such a joke. Like right after he.
Then
you
he's
know,
partying all night. It was just a weird situation.
No, he's done. I think he's done.
Oh, I'm watching
don't
a
think
show
so.
called Slow Horses with Gary Oldman.
And?
It's really good. It's like a MI5, not MI6. It's like a
Oh,
James
all the
Bond.
old knives.
Yeah,
Isn't that what it's called?
It's
No.
Old Horses.
Old Horses.
Slow
Oh,
Horses.
Slow Horses. Yeah, that's
it's really
it.
well done.
It looks like a
Recommended?
good show. It's on Apple
Yeah.
TV Plus.
Yeah, it's good.
Apple TV
I'm watching
Plus.
Better Call Saul. I started it.
I got to catch up with season
The
5.
new season?
No,
It's just started.
From the
season one.
beginning.
I-
Oh, it's
I-
such a great show, Tom.
It
He
is
just
really
finished.
good.
He finished Game of Thrones during our break.
I did finish Game of Thrones.
I
It took
watched
me.
two.
season 8.
Did you finish? You,
I finished it a while. I finished it when it was on.
At
Game
my
of
house.
Thrones-
We
you-
watched the
yes.
finale.
Took
That's
Dad
true.
10 years, but he watched it.
I'll be
He
honest
liked
with you.
it.
Like everybody tells me, season 8 sucked. It was different for sure.
Disappointing.
It was fast.
That's the only one I saw, and I loved it.
well,
it down,
yeah.
Mark.
I mean, you
You
loved
started
it.
at season 8?
Turn that down. Turn it down.
Oh,
We're only on live.
Oh.
I love how Tom
Yeah.
flips out when there's
It's all right.
problems. on the
I
set.
immediately understood what he
Hand
wanted.
signals and
I
He turns
immediately-
on
yelling.
the
Yeah, it's okay. Quick.
so Foreit, you started at the last season. You're working backwards or something.
Where did I go?
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that's all I did. I watched like a 45-minute summarization.
That's what Marissa did. Marissa did that.
And it was
I
plenty.
watched
reading-
a
he's
summary
reading
and then
last
I
week's
jumped
paper right
into
now,
the
John.
last-
Yeah, well,
last
this is
season.
good. This is last week. It still talks about a 14-year-old issue.
You know what just dawned on me? Foreit, you are like the Shaft of medicine.
Oh, you're the best.
No, honestly.
Richard Roundtree.
Like
think about
Shaft.
that. You radiate charisma. You're
I
hip.
appreciate you.
You
You
draw
have
the ladies like a
ADHD.
magnet,
I don't know about that at all.
but you're a complicated soul, man.
He's
Well, that's because I
definitely
don't
complicated.
understand
He's a
myself.
bad mother.
Yeah,
She
you
talking
know,
about
Shaft of medicine.
you're
He's my
you're
designated
beautiful
driver.
for saying that.
Oh,
You know,
no.
Johnny, you're a Sox fan, right?
Yes.
Concerning.
Do you know who was the Shaft of baseball?
No.
Dickie Allen.
Dick Allen.
All right.
Dickie Allen was the
He wore
Shaft
those
of
red
baseball.
pinstripes like nobody
He was
could.
a stud, man.
Like
I
nobody's
thank you
business.
because they used to call him the Shaft of baseball.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I love Dickie Allen. He's my
Talking
favorite.
Hey,
about
I want to
Shaft.
remind everybody,
Make it
early
big.
voting has started out there. You know?
Yes, don't forget you can vote at 11 locations around Lake County, but if you're not in Lake County, you need to check with your local county officials to see if you even have early voting.
Yeah,
Some
if you're,
counties
if
don't
you're
have
out
it.
of Northwest Indiana, if you're out of Lake County. But like, yeah, I'm like in Marion County, I think they have early voting, but it's super, extremely limited.
Which is crazy, right? In
it's
the
insane.
biggest city in Indiana, and you have limited early voting.
Hey, did you see we're on pace in Lake County? We're on pace to have a bigger vote than we did 4 years ago.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
See,
drumming
that
on
just
it.
goes to show you
Either that or people are just more used to early voting.
people are used to early voting. They're going
Right.
to vote early.
Is that
I think
indicative?
after COVID, I think more people are aware that early voting is a thing and are
Early
taking
voting's
advantage
great.
of it.
It
I
literally
used to-
takes you go to Wicker Park right now, you'll be done in like 5 minutes.
I voted first day, no line. It was great.
Really?
By the way, I would also mention to folks out there if they're listening and if they need to get an absentee ballot to their like kids in school that are in university or anything like that, the deadline to get the application in for a written absentee ballot is the 21st.
Hey
You have
Kev, when
to get
is
it in.
weekend?
2 Saturdays before the
So is that
election. So
not
that'd
this
be
weekend.
the,
It's next weekend.
correct. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. So it'd be the 23rd and the 30th, if
Right.
my calendar in my head's right. So 23rd and the 30th would be Saturday voting in Lake County. Also Thursday, they're open until 7 p.m. Thursdays.
So
11
anyway,
different locations. Look around, and by the way, you can search all around the state for early voting. Please do so.
so let's talk to this guy here. next to us.
How about we do our last ads
Oh,
and then we
good
do
call. Good call.
all
Let's
right,
do it real quick.
We're going to do our last ads, Michael, and then we're coming back to
thank
talk about this is actually just a little preview, a little carrot here. Michael Foreit went to the Polish-Ukrainian border for 2 weeks, and we're going to hear all about his adventures.
Helping Ukrainian refugees.
All right, so
What a
we're going to
great
hear
guy.
about that right after our ads. So
Hey,
sit
so
tight,
You
read
guys,
the paper.
you about to dig into some tortilla chips out there? You know,
John, be ready.
or how about like the soft tortillas? You know, tortilla Nuevo Leon is a great option if you are.
I had a lot of
considering
those
such a
over the break, by the way.
Oh my God,
We had a lot of tortilla Nuevo Leon at
I
the
love
house.
tortilla Nuevo
Yes.
Leon. Yeah, honestly, like if you put chips and salsa in front of me, I will like eat myself like a goldfish. I'll just keep eating until I explode.
That's
so
funny.
They've got tortilla chips, too.
that's right. I don't know how to. I don't
They've
know
got
how to stop
tortillas
myself.
And tortilla chips.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard. Oro Standardo, I believe that's
It's back.
of Mexican
Tom
cuisine.
Spanish is back.
Oro, I did the tongue roll.
jingle.
Oro
Who does the jingle?
You've
Standardo.
been speaking
Wouldn't
Spanish
it
over the
be
break.
Standard
Yeah, right.
Oro?
I find myself saying "si" muy bien every once in a while. Of the Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Eli.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia. De todo corazón.
Hey, Mike, can you
It
hold
is a
up your
clapping type song.
I love Eli.
Can you hold up your hands,
Hard
Mike?
not to.
Yes, sir.
Because we got a comment in the chat.
About how big they are.
It says Dr. Mike has the largest hands. I had him for my physicals.
That
Well,
sounds
try
suggestive.
How would you like that for a prostate exam?
Yeah,
all
right.
I
That's why he's not a
remember about
proctologist, right?
I appreciate that.
No, no
9 and a
prostate
half.
exam.
These are 9 and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
9.5 ring size, y'all. If you want to propose.
Good for hugging.
Yes. Yes. I don't
Kelly-
know about prostate stuff.
All the men out there are thankful that you're not doing prostate exams.
We haven't done that in a decade.
Calumet Brewing.
Why does my
Wonderful.
doctor still do
The
it?
Kiernans. Well, that's for you. You're a private guy. I'm an injury guy.
Nearly 10 years in the making, Bud Light Next. Their first zero-carb beer. is
Holy
the result
cow,
of-
it's a new read.
Yes.
We got a new victim.
is
Bud
the
Light
result
next.
of a brewing breakthrough,
What?
making the impossible possible.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
Super
They're-
crisp and
They
refreshing.
made the impossible possible.
Bud Light Next is a light lager with 4% ABV and is brewed with the highest quality ingredients while containing only 80 calories, 0 grams of sugar. Dr. Mike likes that. And 0 carbs.
Boom. You could drink a case.
Here's what to do next. Head over to calbrew.com for more info. Cheers with beers.
So we got weed
Kiernans, man.
and booze on our show.
yes.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Get some
It's
gambling
a party.
and gambling and prostitution. We've got almost all the vices
Weed,
possible.
booze, and chips. Welcome to
So-
Lock Pod. We're
And
back.
it's
Little
Good
different.
Friday, so
Yes, it's
thanks,
Good
everyone.
Holy cow,
Thanks,
it is Good
Johnny.
Friday.
Yeah,
Good
no
Friday.
meat.
We did Good Friday, and we started
Just
off with Mission
booze and weed,
Dispensaries.
y'all.
One
And chips.
It's abstinence today, not just fasting. Fasting and abstinence today. One meal.
Weed,
you
booze,
Catholic,
and fish today,
my Catholic
y'all.
friends.
Dude.
Abstinence from what?
That's it.
Eating.
That's it, Johnny.
Kevin is
You
the
pick.
he's
You
the
pick.
Lent police.
Yeah.
Running in
Kevin's
the
like, "Are you eating bacon?
I'm going to watch over.
Is that bacon you got?"
Are you Catholic?
He is like Lent police. I swear.
Not
Between
true.
him and Marissa, I am like
That's
constantly
sweet.
surrounded
It's
by
more of a
Lent police.
reminder.
Well, it's almost done.
Yeah.
Oh, is Marissa pretty...
Dude, Marissa like called me up the other day, and she's like, "Hey, what'd you have for breakfast?" And I'm like, "Why do you care?" Because I knew what she was doing, right?
Oh,
she's like, "What'd you
that's
have?"
mean,
Because
see?
she was like
That's
testing
sneaky.
me. She's like, "Did you have breakfast yet?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh.
"What'd you have for breakfast?" And I didn't eat meat. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I had breakfast. Why?" I was like playing along, right? And she's like, "No, what'd you have?" And I'm like, "Why are you asking?" And then-
Exactly what you have.
yeah, but I did. I ordered instead of bacon at the wheel, I ordered fruit.
See?
What a horrible meal that was.
Don't complain about your
It's
fasting.
not
I
fresh.
love-
Not quite fresh.
Hey,
love the
we do
bacon
this
at
in
the
the
wheel.
name of Jesus.
That's right.
Yes, thank you.
He doesn't want me to
You know,
have
I saw a
bacon.
church, first church I saw in Warsaw. We went to see Magdalena,
Mm-hmm.
who was lovely, Tom's sister-in-law, and she had a modern built-in before the wall, before the Russians were out of town. They had a church that was really modernistic right near her neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
which went unbombed during the Second World War. And it's the first Catholic institution I saw where they used the bell tower as a cell tower.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
they had multiple
really?
cellular
That's cool.
things up on the
Making
tower.
some dough.
In betwing ding, 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 the cell tower was.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
The church is
I get
modernizing
pictures.
itself.
All right,
and
Kev.
getting
We got
some
two more
attention.
reads. Let's go.
Yes, Executive
Making ends
Suite
meet.
Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue exit. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access.
I really want to point out that the Kevin only camera angle has Dr. Mike's fluorescent noggin in the corner of it, and I
I
love
see
it.
that.
Isn't that
That's
great?
here's what I'll do.
No, don't touch
don't
the
touch
cameras.
it, don't touch it,
You'll
don't
get
touch
a heart
anything in
attack.
You're just like leaning
Michael,
into the
don't
Don't
touch
move.
anything.
It's okay. No,
I'm a
we
mess.
I
like
like
your
your
nog.
noggin.
It's a good brain.
Good look.
All right,
Thank you,
Grisolia's
The
Concrete.
shaft
Whoa,
of
whoa, whoa, whoa.
medicine.
Hold
That's
on.
my boy.
All right.
For more information on their basic or private office membership packages or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, I was there the other day. It's gorgeous. Call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at Executive Suites 2. That's the Executive Suites, the number 2.com.
Kevin, you know you have your own office. You don't have to go somewhere
I was visiting.
else.
Visiting.
Oh.
It was a meeting.
Grisolia's Concrete was voted number 1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all concrete projects, and they have been using the original cement finish in the California style
Oh,
since
there's Buzz.
1972. They also offer stamped
Jay
and
does.
colored concrete. Call now, 219-659-4147. That is 219-659-4147 to get your project lined up for the summer.
I wanna
Those
thank
are our reads. Thank
all
you.
of our
We made
sponsors,
it.
our new sponsors, our old sponsors, our sponsors that came back. Thank you.
Yay.
All right, so let's preview this a little bit, okay? So we heard about a month ago that a good friend of ours, Dr. Michael Foreit, good friend of Lockpod,
Thank you. I love it.
had decided to head over to the war zone, the Polish-Ukrainian border, to help folks.
Yes.
And
Which is very sweet.
unbelievable. So I guess the first question I have for you, what gave you the idea and how did you get coordinated to go?
Oh, well, the trouble started at the border, and it wasn't but 2 minutes, but my buddy, my beautiful friend Brucey, good guy Bruce, called me from New York and said, Michael, I'm going to Poland. And he's a Marine. And he's
what?
my age. He's a Marine.
He's a Marine?
Bruce is a Marine. Yeah.
He's a U.S. Marine.
U.S. Marine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do I not know that?
You slept in his house. You
I
didn't
did.
know that. Yeah.
I don't think Bruce and I have ever met, though. This is a
Never
crazy story. Bruce is, I don't know if you want to get into his, he's got connections with Home Depot,
Yes.
like big connections,
Yes. Fatherly.
like ownership kind of thing.
I don't know what the ownership is.
So like he's
Founder.
he's the kind of
Fatherly
guy that
connections.
he doesn't have to go to Poland. He doesn't have to
No,
go
Bruce
to,
doesn't have to do anything.
neither does Dr. Mike. You
And
guys
so-
just want to do it to help people.
He calls you
Well, Bruce called me and he
and
said,
says, I'm going to Poland. And
I'm
you
going
say,
to Poland, and he didn't ask me because that's the way he is. He just announces what he's doing. And I reminded him that his wife was 7 months pregnant with their first
oh
child.
my gosh, wow.
And I said, Brucey, I said, your wife's pregnant? And he says, Michael, she understands me because I met her through my humanitarian efforts going to Vietnam. And he introduced me to
I didn't realize that's how he met his wife.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so she understands him in his heart. And she absolutely gave him endorsement, but was much more comfortable to know that I was then going to join him because I'm not a warrior. Okay. And even
Really?
You're a
I think
lover. You're a
lover.
lover, not a
You
fighter.
are.
I'm not. I don't have. I may have weapons, but and I
So
can click
anyway,
you.
Mike.
But anyway, so Bruce called me and he said I'm going, and of course I said you're not going alone, and we already decided yesterday that we're going back in July.
What was
July,
the kind of the purpose of going? Like,
It was both humanitarian and to create. I mean, with direct me doing things for people, and both of us requisitioning every day. Whether it was walkie-talkies or socks or underwear or dog food or cat food or diapers or blankets or
so
vests.
so when
or,
you fly over there, you fly into Warsaw, I assume, or some.
Yes,
Okay, and
Chopin.
then all right, and then when you get off the plane, what's the plan? Like, what exactly? Where are you going?
You had-
Do you have a plan?
we were fortunate to have Luisa Cruza and your wife connect us with two priests. That one was in Lublin, and that was Father Jakob. I never met him. Talked to him a number of times on the phone. Met his people at the Caritas humanitarian effort, and we still chit-chat on the thing every day, and they're waiting for me to continue with things. And Johnny's actually going to help me set up a GoFundMe.
So you
type of
had,
thing.
so you had.
So we had a skeletal structure of where we were starting, and from there,
Was there a lot of people like you out there? Did you see other Americans, other people from around the world?
I
Coming
saw
out
people
for-
from all around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
from
to
all
help.
over the world. There to help.
Did you meet other Americans or?
Oh, there were Americans every single day coming into our hotel Intercontinental. They were coming in every day. These
For
guys
humanitarian, or I know there's a ton
These
of,
guys were tatted.
but there's a ton of
ripped.
there was a ton of like media there too, because like
Professionals.
Professional warriors.
Professional warriors.
Help
They
them
were
go
loading
in.
up with their kits every day and
Really?
jumping on the sprinters and shazizzle off to inside.
Wow.
I
So-
didn't ask them where they were going. Every time we would ask them what they were there for, they said they were there for the clown show. And they retrained those clowns. We were at the clown show too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Michael, let me ask you this. So, just to get us geographically located, you're in the eastern part of Poland,
The eastern third.
along the Ukrainian border.
Well, so we went from Warsaw down to a
Warsaw's
city.
what, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the border?
A couple hours, but we
Yeah.
went down 2-hour drive to Lublin. We headed southeast, and then from Lublin we went to another city of 180 that have already absorbed 40,000 individuals into their city.
On TV, you see a
That's
lot of these
Rzeszów, where
train stations,
Biden
right?
came, yes.
So, is that kind of one of those areas you were at where the train stations
We
were
were-
bringing the trains in from
We
Ukraine?
were more at an area that was just inside the closest I was a town called Korachova, and Korachova was here's Ukraine. Right
Yeah,
there.
you took a picture like with
it's
the,
just
with
right
the
over
border,
my- right
with
over
the
my
border
shoulder.
right behind you, right?
And my driver, Yarek Prus, and these were lovely people, and Andre and Shemish and these guys they looked at me and they said, Michael, you have no business going on the other side. He goes, you wouldn't understand if they told you to duck your head. And so you'll be more of a problem than you are an assistance. So they told me, they dropped me off, and they said, here's where you're going to go. And they dropped me at Shemzel Assistance Center, dropped me at Korachova Assistance, which were defunct malls that were.
Are you seeing people walk across the border? Or are you inside a little bit where people are being welcomed
When
as
I
they
was
get across?
at the border, there was a mile-long line of cars and vehicles to take people away. Nobody was streaming through at the moment because there were bombing sirens going on.
Oh, so you're saying there's a mile long on the Polish side to grab
pick
a
people
refugee and grab them and then
and
bring them to
go
safety.
and bring them. When I was working at the in Gorachova, every 20 minutes, half an hour, the doors would open and people would stream in.
Wow.
And the police officers, firefighters, everybody would just carry whatever people had.
Yeah.
Yeah, women, children, no men coming through.
Really?
Nobody helping.
It had to be something you'd never seen.
God.
And
And Dr. Mike, are you assisted? Are there injured people coming
Injured.
across? You're
Injured.
helping. Wow.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Like they got hurt in
injured,
bombings?
sick. The kids were ill from not having eaten and having been nervous, and they would get there and they would have an array of carbohydrate-laden stuff because people donated. There was a lot of things that came in, and they would eat candies and things that they haven't had, and they would get upset stomachs, and they were sleeping on cots, and there was no heat in the building, and the only heat that was generated was what you could get when we just had activity, and it was really something.
So you worked in a hospital also, right?
No, I didn't work in a hospital. I worked in what would be way stations for human life.
if there is one thing, I guess maybe that you could tell our listeners and tell us, Mike, about what you saw, that you think. I mean, what did you see there that you were just shocked that you couldn't? You know, we don't get over here. We don't get all the news. Obviously, we're not on the ground.
This is a big problem. We are not taking it anywhere near as seriously. And people are pointing the fingers at Biden about gas prices. Fertilizer is up 400% because China's not exporting it, and Russia was the #1 producer. But that's Biden's fault.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
What ridiculous crap. And so
It is
they don't
ridiculous
understand what's going to happen when their bread tastes different and we don't have stuff to grow our own vegetables, and you're not going to be able to get this in 3 months if this stuff continues. It's a major deal, and people do not take it seriously.
So humanitarian crisis, economic.
Humanitarian crisis, economic, geopolitical crisis, man.
What do you
It's
think?
The biggest in my lifetime.
You know, like it seems like the U.S. government is starting to step up a little bit as far as at first we weren't going to send weapons over to, and now recently it was just
We're over
announced that we're sending
$1.4 billion now.
Right,
Over.
we're sending tanks, we're sending
Howitzers.
heavy,
Yeah.
yeah, so like-
Anti-aircraft artillery.
right. I mean,
Yes.
I'll be honest with you,
Stingers.
like I have trouble watching the slaughter take place. I'm having trouble as an American. And I understand why people are nervous about. I'm talking about protecting a population. And
Well, when you see what looks like war crimes, when you see just civilians
What looks
shot dead on the street, and
That'll be every town. Kev.
Yep.
Yeah.
You think
Well, you
Bucha's
think-
an
Apartment
isolated
buildings,
event?
blown up.
Mariupol's going to be completely destroyed, and like
It'll
all
be
the
everywhere the same. You're not going to see a difference from town to town.
right
The things that I heard.
rape and pillage. Basically,
I had one guy, one of the worst guys I had a drop lung. He climbed out of his hospital bed with a tube in him, with a chest line in him, a central line in him, and we ended up pulling the lower tube. His lung was up, but he broke his wrist leaving the rubble, and he crossed the state from Kharkiv. He crossed to Ukraine. between
How far
car-
is that, Mike?
It's the other side of the country.
So how did he do it? Did he-
Wow.
he didn't-
Between car and walking, and he was great.
because think about it. Like if you get to a certain point and a bridge is out or something,
You go around it.
You have no choice. I mean, you may have to leave the car there, you know?
Yeah.
And then if you run out of gas, what are you going to do? Go get gas?
Hop on another car, start
Right,
walking. Yeah. It's
right.
just it's amazing, right? That we're living in the 21st century, and we're dealing with stuff that we've seen over the last several centuries in Central Europe.
It's horrific.
It's like World War II replaying, and we got to,
Keep going back. I mean,
Right.
even before
But yesterday I
World War
wanted
II,
to
right?
celebrate the introduction of the new submarine, 600-foot submarine that the Russians introduced, the Moscow.
by the
Oh,
way,
wow.
Yes,
And,
brand new submarine, the Moskva.
The
the
brand new-
Moskva. And what they did, this is the national bird of the Ukraine. You guys got a shot of this?
Yeah, look
Yes, look
Yeah.
at that.
See that?
The drone.
Yes.
And it says
that's the new bird. But it's a
FPTN.
genus. It's the entire species. They got a bunch of them. This is FPTN.
Ah, I get it.
Yes, you do.
I get it.
And-
FPTN 22.
And so what they did yesterday or 2 days ago was they whizzed a drone around there, the largest.
as
Yeah.
a diversionary tactic.
oh, that's
and then they blasted them with.
And then they got Neptune missiles that came from land
wow.
along the sea, right on top of the water.
Kievian missiles.
Yes, yeah, built in the Ukraine.
And the boat supposedly was built in the Ukraine.
Yes.
And so they birthed and they put to sleep one of their own products, and they probably used people to help them understand where but mind you, if they had hit any of the missiles that were on deck, that would have been a problem.
By the way, 60 miles away is how far they hit him with
Right.
these Neptune missiles. 60 miles away, they went along the water.
and he
that's
thought
so
he was
crazy.
safe out there.
Yeah.
That boat was in charge of airspace for them, all electronics.
It was a command. It was a command and
the
control
command
center.
So we're just going to drop it for you.
by the
Don't worry
way,
about
let's think about the logistics of that. They said 500 people escaped, right?
Yep.
Yes.
to water.
Like when you have an explosion and ordnance goes up, there's a number of people that were injured. There's a number of people that were killed. And if you're injured on a ship and the ship goes down, you can't get off the ship. If you have a broken leg or you're like just, you've been, badly
They
damaged.
said a lot of the Russian sailors got off on lifeboats.
Yeah,
Mind you-
I bet you a lot of them did, but I bet you they lost 20% of their force. I bet
I've
you
seen
in
no
that-
footage at all of any evac of any injured
one has,
Russian.
I would love to
Not
see.
even
I would love
water,
to see.
but even the guys that are going to battle have nobody coming in for a dawn.
We have to have
a
satellite
dawn
of
evac,
that.
a medevac to get them out, like we grew used to, and you grew used
Dude,
to. as
you
an-
can't trust anything that
it
Russia's saying. though.
doesn't exist for
And
them.
you're seeing Russian soldiers' bodies just laying in the
Lane.
Yeah,
There's
they're
nobody
not-
pulling them out.
which
So
is
these
crazy,
guys are
right?
really cheerful going into battle for them when you know that if I get clipped, I'm just going to lay here till I bleed out.
Right.
Right.
And then
Until I
just
rot.
rot away and picked apart by birds. And yeah.
That instills confidence in the soldiers when they don't have anybody coming to help them.
I-
Why
it-
put myself in the line of fire?
It's very scary what's going on right now. And, and I get why people are nervous when they say that, if we involved American, pilots or NATO pilots to force a no-fly zone, I get why that's, escalating. I get that. But how could we sit there and watch the slaughter of innocent? And they want to be part of our alliance, by the way.
Oh,
you know?
I thought it's interesting that Finland and Sweden are now asking
Right.
potentially for. I mean, if Finland becomes part of NATO, it increases the border along Russia. NATO border along Russia doubles it.
And then
doubles.
Russia already said, then we're going to go out and we're going to get more, nuclear weapons. And
They had a lot of their nukes in the Ukraine. That was their border previously to
And
91.
then Ukraine had to give them up.
Yeah, to 91. And a lot of them were made there, but a lot of the ICBMs used to live in Ukraine.
Well, sure,
because that
'cause it's
was one of
closest
their-
border to the-
It was their land corridor, one of 9 land corridors into the country. We take it for granted, but we got 2 giant moats around our land, and it's almost impossible for people to get the same way as they have.
if you wanted
the
to attack
ability
America,
get
you'd have to come you'd have to come up probably from Central America through Mexico that
Yeah.
way.
Or by submarines.
yeah.
Well, I
You
mean,
could launch,
you'd have to
you'd have
have
missiles
a-
from subs.
But they have to be next to us.
I'm talking about land forces.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They have to come. They have 9 different corridors of access through
Yeah.
it, and they were closing up 2 of them by taking the Ukraine. So, and the next would be Poland and Romania. So that's what they're worried about. But the people in
Well,
Zeshov,
once that starts, since World War III, for sure.
oh, it would for sure. But the people in Zeshov, where Biden flew into, I'd never seen Patriot missile batteries live. And they were all around the airport, and I saw the 82nd Airborne there.
Wow.
And I'd see them in town every day, and I would say thank you to each and every one of the guys serving. And girls too. I'd say 1 to 2, 1 out of 5 was female, and it was great to see. And they were all well mannered and well representing, and it was great to see them. And I told them every time. I even told the Mercs. Happy to see those guys too. Somebody's going in and training
yeah.
these people, and these were badass dudes
I bet.
who looked like they were somebody who's just waiting to take their leash off and
Wow.
into
Oh
this-
my God.
Wow.
yeah, and but what's what we want. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
you
right.
want somebody-
That's how you want. That's how you want our soldiers.
They can train somebody with an NLAW, with an anti-tank
They're just like
missile
old
in
vets.
1 hour.
Right.
You know, in an hour. I know people that are training in stadiums over in the Ukraine, and now in stadiums there that are training shooting to civilians and the use of.
You plan on going back?
I'm going back July probably.
July.
End of July, somewhere in there.
Wow.
They're still going to need the help.
I know it, and so I'm.
Thanks for going over there, Mike.
Well,
That's
listen, I appreciate it. It was something. It was the moment in my life where I had a transition at work, and my platform was changing, and I'm blessed to have had 20 magnificent years with a family of people I worked with over in Gary, and it's been so rewarding.
You are transitioning out of that, right?
I'm transitioning to a different platform, more
Yeah?
a corporate influencing.
So you're not going to be Dr. like a practicing
be,
medical,
but I'm no more
right? You're not
practicing.
no more
Yeah,
practicing.
No more practicing.
So that moment was a good time for you to.
It was, Kev. Imagine that I didn't have to worry about somebody's insurance card at the counter at the door, or what are you going to guarantee this with your credit card?
Like
or
you've been doing
whatever it
this
is.
for the last 20 years.
And I've never worried. I'd give away the place if people didn't worry for me. And I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to document. I didn't have to worry about.
You just like help people.
And I love a lot of personal injury attorneys, but there's some that are dildos. And,
Can we say that on the air?
We agree.
Yes, I can.
We can say
And-
dildo.
You're not talking about Steve, are you?
No, God, I love him. I met you guys. I wouldn't have known him if we hadn't have done that case for hero Mark Naranik years ago.
All right.
And but anyway,
That's
so
attorney
Tom
client
doesn't want to
stuff.
hear about me.
It was-
No,
Talk
that's
about
attorney
you.
client stuff. Let's talk about this case.
it was absolutely a moment where when Bruce called me and he said to me, "Michael, I'm going." It was
So you guys are going back in July.
gratification without concern of a personal liability. It was just amazing. I'd have.
Did you ever feel like afraid? Were you ever in danger? You think?
No, and I made a point to. I was worried about it because knowing Bruce, I was worried about maybe he'd want to sneak across and do some things. But our drivers
Could you have
said
done
we
that?
won't do it. Oh yeah, we could have gone.
You could have gone into Ukraine.
Yeah, but I didn't have a bucket for my
Probably
head.
not smart.
Intentionally did not bring these things so we would
go
not
over
have
there.
the thought of doing so. I'm no good like that.
What if you look, since you've been there, Michael, what would you say they need the most over there? Because everyone's asking like, what can I do? Can I donate? What do I want?
30,000 buckets went yesterday. Helmets for troops and vests and things. Besides what Biden sent, 1,000 missiles and howitzers and and personnel and tanks and whatever the hell they have to take. Dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars. Bruce and I handed them just a stacks of dollars at the end when we were leaving, and they're already sending me images of the things that have been purchased with the monies that we've left, and it's truly rewarding, and that's what I'm going to keep up with. But we're going to go back. I regret not taking all the names of the beautiful folks that I worked with. I would stand and not understand a word that a mother was saying to me, and the Polish EMT would just be talking to them. And they would thank me for looking at them.
Wow.
And I had nothing to do with it except sit there and hold their hand. And they would just chat in Polish, and they'd look at me, and I'd smile, and they'd thank me. And it was truly magnificent.
It was pure, unadulterated health care.
It was so gratifying.
What was the worst injury you dealt with?
Oh, I would tell you the boy that the cat that Vasily, he had the one kid with the dropped lung, and it took a useless tube out of the base of it, but he had a central line in him. And I listened to it. I put a pulse ox on him, and he didn't register, which means that he wasn't demonstrating any oxygenation. And I put it on the other hand, and it wasn't working. And I used theirs, and he didn't show a sign of stuff. And so I asked him, I said, "Hey, and how many packs a day?" I made the gesture, and I said, 2? And he says, no. He says, 1. And I started flashing my fingers. I said, "How many years?" And he laughed, and he said, "Since his first memory."
Wow.
At 6 years of age, he's been smoking.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I couldn't.
How old was he?
52.
Wow.
And
he couldn't get.
He had a broken wrist. He was the one who climbed out and
that's the
came
one.
from Kharkiv. But we saw young kids who thought they were doing the right thing by going across, volunteers. There was one kid from Lebanon who had been 5 days in. By the third or fourth day, he realized that he was probably mistaken for trying to come across as not a warrior. It took him 2 days to get out. I saw him. He was dehydrated, hypothermic,
Wow.
and shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked and scared.
He saw a lot of action.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Well, he
okay.
saw stuff he didn't want to see, and it
Yeah.
scared the shit out of him.
Sure.
And so he hightailed it out. He ran for 2 days, and he got himself out of there. And he was happy to be on an uncomfortable cot in the middle of a non-heated
Right.
former mall.
In Poland.
in Poland, and that's the point, Tommy. We were staying in Rzeszów, and there's a skate park that was right outside the place that Bruce and I shared about a 300, 400-foot studio. And there's kids with their children, imagine we had a battle in Evanston, just on the north side of the city. And we're living our life here, like we don't care.
Right.
I never saw a jet. I never saw.
That's crazy.
I never heard noise from bombing.
Really?
Saw a lot of rigs coming in. Saw a lot of landing. We saw a lot of stuff being. All of a sudden, it was there from day to day. And Rzeszów, at the airport where our 82nd was, they were bringing in goods.
I read an article that for years and decades, there's been this program by the Russians to try to influence Polish friendship or Polish relationships with Ukrainians.
Right, they're doing this is a unification right now, is what he's calling it.
And so, did you see? I mean, it seemed to me that Poland was welcoming, but being so friendly to the refugees and so welcoming to them. Did you see that?
I didn't see anything but that.
Yeah.
Polish people are incredible, aren't they?
Incredible.
I'm telling you, that's how I felt when I went there. It was like everybody that I met was just over the top, like super nice.
Yeah.
A million and a half in Poland or something.
Wow.
I never saw a human being in the street.
I mean, compare that to America right now.
I know.
Compare that to America. If we had 1 million refugees coming into America right now, it would be all over the news. Fox News would be up in arms.
We do.
What are we doing?
Right,
we have all these.
That
It's
issue.
happening.
Right. But I'm saying in this case,
Yeah.
the refugees are, obviously it's very sympathetic cause what's going on because their country's being decimated by a Russian dictator, So if we had the similar situation, we had, a bunch of refugees coming into our country, I don't
Would
see.
we have as much grace accepting in those
I don't
refugees?
see it. Not in this
as
environment.
Poland
We'd
or
have
other surrounding
40% of America up in arms, bitching and complaining on Fox News about it.
I think the majority of Americans would help, but you're right.
Yeah.
There'd be a huge part. There'd be like, this is bullshit.
There'd be a whole segment of society that was tuned into Fox News, bitching and complaining about all the refugees.
If today just wakes anybody up, I mean, because nobody's paying attention and they're making their spring break plans and they're doing this and that. There's a freaking war going on.
Yeah.
Man.
I think that's the thing. Is
potential for all of our
it's
next
scary.
generations. And
It's
everything.
Biden's fault, right, Mike? It's ridiculous.
He actually screwed up my traffic pattern that day when he came in, and Bruce and I had to leave 2.5 hours early because the roadways were closed because of him. So we scooted out of town quick, and I went down single-lane roads through the countryside where, it's amazing when you come over a hill and you're doing 40 and there's a tractor. Both guys, my driver and the tractor driver, would have had on, but no. They each go right. And they understand just the simplicity of driving directives.
Yes.
Nobody's in the left lane parked. Nobody, they just pass.
We
And
take
it's
so many
fluid.
things for granted
Oh
here.
my God.
So many things.
Just the ways that people conduct themselves. You won't step in the street with the traffic.
Warsaw's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing.
There's no litter. I mean,
no litter.
It's
Right.
incredible.
The people don't stop traffic.
They don't.
cause
They
a
don't
problem.
step in the lane. They don't like. You don't jaywalk. You'll get freaking arrested.
Yeah.
And
America.
Dude, I was the other day. I'm driving on the boulevard, which is a heavy route right by where I live. For those of you that aren't from where, and there was a guy walking across, and he was going slow, and I could tell he was an asshole. You could just tell. He's like, and the traffic's literally going 50 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And he had made it across my path. And he was just going slow. I was in the fast lane, and I'm like, this guy. And there was a car next to me, and this car had to like jam on its brakes, and then cars behind him started piling up. And this
Sure.
guy is just like, what an asshole! Like,
I
I'm
don't
like,
care.
if this guy would have got plowed into, I would have been there to talk to the cop and say he's an asshole.
And
I
the,
would
and
have,
the
man.
sad
You're
thing
like,
is,
you should-
you see that every
dude,
day.
you're such. I want to
Every
get out of my
day.
car and just beat him, man.
You don't
I just,
witness that.
Yikes.
You don't
And
witness
that
that.
wasn't even my car that was affected. It was the car next to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy is a first class ass.
Dude,
I was
There's
on the
no
phone.
expectation
I was on the
of
phone with
somebody
John the other
crossing.
day, and John, remember you were like, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah, dude. I said some things on that phone call.
Right?
But
But that's Americans. Americans just take everything for granted, and
Oh,
it's
it's so
Biden's
bad.
fault.
It's so
Oh,
bad.
like gas prices. Go to Europe if you think our gas prices are high, right?
Right.
Go to Europe. That's
Well,
they
by the way,
charge what we
there's a-
charge for a gallon for a liter there.
There's a war going on.
Yeah.
Why do you think? I mean, there's all kinds of reasons gas
And
prices are high.
and
Wow.
Russia happens to be a big supplier of oil, by the way, so that's going to affect
Oh, yeah. But
the
those
supply.
lines are going to be affected both by the people that are either militant or the people that are computer operators, and they're going to shut things down to even further turn off his ability to give to give a mountain of gold because they're not dealing with they're not dealing with these feds anywhere anymore. So if you want to buy, if they want supplies, they have to pay gold.
rubles. Right?
Doctor,
Good luck doing that. How do you?
I got to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I know we're reaching the end of the show here, but now that you've established these corridors, these connections, because through Marissa, you wanted to keep this going, right?
do,
you wanted
John.
to. You reached out about a GoFundMe.
I do.
setting up a GoFundMe.
And I'd have no idea how to even do that. But your
John's
help
gonna
would
help
be
you.
totally
Yeah.
appreciated, man.
So pretty soon, just for the viewers watching, and the people that are going to listen to this after, we're going to set up a GoFundMe, and we're just going to get it out there, and you can donate to this particular group that you've been working with.
Listen, I've got people in Lublin and people that are in the border, but I have direct lines I can. That I will. I don't know how to do it. If some people ask me already, they said, "Michael, I'm going to give you some money." I didn't know what to do with any of it. Nobody funded me, and I just didn't want to take anybody's
So this
cash.
GoFundMe that we're setting up, right?
We'll make sure to announce it on Lockpod.
Yeah,
sure. I'd be
And
happy.
And John's going to put it together right after he
Johnny
does our
put it together.
soundboard, so
I mean, I'll
it
tell
should
you
be
how-
anytime.
I knew it
right?
was coming, dude.
Yeah, John's all over this.
Johnny's
Like
great.
he's going to do our soundboard, and then he'll get your GoFundMe. So by the conclusion
be
of the
up-
war,
we'll be
it
up
might
on
be up,
YouTube
right?
soon.
Come on.
We transitioned to YouTube
Yeah, right.
and everything. It's all going to happen. at
By the way,
once.
John, during our break, I was on a podcast, and I walked in. It was the podcast third episode. It was the Tolberts, Mike Tolbert and Shalise have a great Married People's Business is the name of their podcast. And I walk in there. It's like their third episode. They have a soundboard. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We've done like 150 episodes, and they have a soundboard.
I get no respect, man. No respect.
You guys are so mean to him.
John,
not
I
mean
love
to him, I
John's
just-
work, man. He makes me
Tolbert
look
It's
said
good.
that
really
your
easy to
episode
make
was
fun of the
number
people
one.
behind
Was
the
it?
table.
Thank you,
on the
Mike.
podcast.
Thank you, Mike.
Lindsay.
And how about thank you, Shalise?
Yeah, thank you, Shalise. Yes,
She's the
Thank
boss,
you,
man.
Louisa, and thank you, Magdalena.
and
Thank you.
Michael, thank you for the little insurrectionist. I
He's
appreciate
We're
it.
going to put him
You
up
know,
here.
I tried to get this when I was in Poland. I fell in love with this little thing, right? And then I was like, I was going to buy one, and I was like, we were going to another part of Poland, and coming back, I'm like, right before I get home, I'm going to swing through, grab one of these, and fly home, right? And then I was like, well, you know what? I'll just buy one when I get back to America. You cannot find these in America.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Well, it's
this
not
is all
American
over.
history.
No, it's not. But like, it's. I figured, with the the number of Polish
We have our
Americans.
own little insurrectionists.
Oh, I
It's
knew
a
it
little
was
different.
coming.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Yeah, the
man
They're at the
Republicans.
Capitol on January
Yeah.
6th.
We have ours are right wing extremists. That's good.
Yeah,
Lindsay.
you've got children.
Climbing a wall with a
wrap
Trump
it up.
flag.
I'm in the Capitol.
Let's go.
8:31.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
That's my daughter right there.
That's
right.
We
right.
have our own
That was a good. We
Welcome,
have.
welcome
It's
back,
a group
Lockpod.
of spoiled right wingers. Yeah.
Oh my
Wrap it up,
God.
Mayor.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you, Michael, for being our
LMP,
first guest.
baby.
Welcome back to Lockpod
Hey,
season
thank
6.
you guys for letting me announce
It's
this
good.
a little
Thank
bit.
you for
know how
coming.
scary it is, and I'll tell you how scary things were.
He's a
They had to
bad
ramp
mother.
up. They had to really
your
accelerate
mouth.
their acceptance of people across the border, because as folks were staying in line in order to get in, there were others who were posing as humanitarian who would load their van with young ladies like Lindsay.
No.
And yes, sir.
Really?
And they would take them
They'd
to
be like, "I'll
places
take you
they
where you need to
never
go."
wanted to go.
Traffickers.
Yeah.
And so the Polish people that I met were only that weren't going in, were just watching for these guys
Sure.
who had
Good.
infiltrated groups.
That
and
is so
they would
scary.
get justice without going to the police station.
Wow.
I
Good.
know.
Oh, wow.
And that's
I
justice.
would
that's
go
deserved.
just to
Yes, and
beat
Daniel,
up some
yes.
human traffickers
Yes.
personally.
So
Well, that's what they were dealing with already.
thank
And
you for
there's
coming on
plenty-
the show, Michael.
You guys,
Great to
I
see you.
really thank you for having
And
me.
I'm
because
sure
it
you'll be
was-
back.
Thank
it
you for
was
doing what
something.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I just loved it. It makes me feel good. Kev, I needed it in my life.
Yeah.
And the moment came and Brucey called and I said, I'm going to go. Just
All
like
right.
that. I took just. I
Thanks,
said,
Michael.
yeah,
It was great.
Thank you,
you're,
guys.
you're humanitarian. Jay Bez, awesome.
I love life.
Thanks for coming back. It's good to
Yeah,
see you again.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Lynn's Notorious LMP.
Follow
great
me
to see
on
you.
Twitter at the Notorious LMP.
At the,
LMP,
oh, you're throwing your
Barasco,
Twitter
baby.
handle
That's
out there,
Polish
huh?
there. You
Nice.
know.
And, this is coming from Kevin Chandler. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Getting ready to celebrate number 5-3. Next week.
He
Soon
looks
enough.
good.
Yeah,
You
and
guys
then,
are both athletes, man.
of course, coming
weeks.
from your
And Jana.
newly
You got Jana at home.
your
Yes.
newly verified mayor, Twitter verified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's great to see you guys again. We're love to be back on the air. Season 2 will be back on Tuesday. So.
I'm proud of your
Season-
senatorial. I'm
season
proud
6,
of your
episode
positions,
2.
Tom.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Season 6,
Absolutely
episode 2, back on Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. We'll see you guys. Take
Tune
care.
in.
Lockpod out.
Thank you, guys.